Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Scorpio, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, the information regarding that can be found in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. Scorpio, I hope you're doing well. I am doing a reading today that talks about chapters ending and new chapters beginning, and the transition for you between the two. So I'm going to be using a brand new deck that I got, the Oracle of the Universe by Stacey DeMarco, and the Muse Tarot for your tarot reading. I just want to show you this beautiful tower that I have on my desk for this series of readings. It's an ocean jasper for flow, because I wanted to set the intention that whatever chapter you're going through right now, from one to the next, that there's beautiful flow, that there's little resistance, because when we put up the resistance, that's when we kind of find ourselves fighting, right? And just not in the mood to fight, so I'm hoping you're not in the mood to fight either. So cards have been pre-shuffled. Palo Santo has been burned, clearing the energy for Scorpio, please. Scorpio. Okay, so 4 cards came out. I need to pull one more because I'm going to pull 4 cards for the base spread and 4 cards for clarifier, but one will be the overall energy, and for the base spread it will be all oracle. That was determined in the Cancer reading. So the cards are down for your oracle, and for your overall energy you got a 44, which is a beautiful master number. So you may see 44 in synchronicities in your travels today. The bright star, canopus, and the word is guidance. So talk about flow energy, and especially for a beautiful water sign such as yourself. We're talking about moving, this really reminds me of the 6 of Swords card, the moving on from choppy waters to calm waters. But it's this idea of following this beautiful star in the sky. So there's a lot of things going on here with this suggestion of guidance. It's directionality, right? Like, where are we headed? Do we know? And I have a feeling, some people don't know. Some people don't have it clear in their minds about their goals, hopes, dreams, aspirations. They have no idea. But I feel like you do. I feel like you may not have it all figured out, but you have I feel like you have the next year of your life kind of settled in terms of what you want to accomplish. So you may have written that down, or discuss that with friends and family of the things that you want to get done this year. I see these soldiers kind of on the deck of this ship, so it's kind of like ducks in a row, in a way, getting all your ducks in a row, making sure that things make sense, is what I just heard. That if there's a flow state, but things still have to make sense for you. Like, there's an order of things that have to be accomplished, one after the other after the other. I don't see these characters intimidated in any way by the seas. Like, they don't look like they're in distress. They look like they're kind of fully in their power. They see the horizon line. You see what's in front of you. And you're using this illumination as a gauge. So the 4 cards for the base spread are down. I'm just going to pull clarifiers for you from the tarot. I just have to show you, sorry. Muse of Emotions is the King of Cups in this deck, and this is Scorpio energy. So for me, you showed up in your own reading. That's why I'm smiling, because it's really beautiful when a person shows up in their own, a sign shows up in their own reading. It's quite, I don't know, it fills me with like happiness. It fills me with like a self-assurance, or a reassurance rather, not a self-assurance, a reassurance that your spirit guides are here, that my spirit guides are here, and that they're communicating with you. Okay. 8 cards down. I put the deck down like this, and this top card wanted to slide off. So I'm going to turn it around. Page of Inspiration. I'm just going to take that as your overall energy as well, that maybe this goal or journey that you are embarking upon, this new chapter of your life, could have had some really beautiful spark of inspiration, that you could have had some epiphany moments, that, you know, this kind of colorful, multifaceted cloud over your head, that it's even her hair, it's kind of like a flame, right? Like listening in. I've been doing, you know, I do daily tarot pulls, 1-card pulls, and in the ones that I've been pulling lately, the tarot is timeless, but I'm just, from the time that I'm speaking, I've been pulling a lot of cards that suggest epiphanies, downloads from spirit that are very in your face. And I feel as though there's something right now that just seems like too loud to be ignored. There's something in your life right now that's too loud to be ignored. You can see this beautiful black cat here, black cat for good luck. Right? We're turning that around. There's one right here as well, near her sacral chakra. That's very interesting. This cat kind of blends into the background, almost as if you are embodying the energy of the black cat. That you're very, you know, black cats are associated with familiars. So perhaps you and your spirit guides are kind of becoming more and more in sync with one another. Yeah, I have 3 cats, so sometimes they're just being themselves, and then other times I recognize spirit in them. It's hard to describe, but it's like I can see the difference when spirit kind of steps into their energy, and they feel like it's not a typical pet being needy with you. It's a different energy. So you could be noticing this with people, with animals, that they could be drawn to you in a way that's different from the norm. So just take it as it resonates. In the past energy, Iridanus, and the word is confidence. It's hard to tell, but there is a character, is like a divine masculine, and there are 2 horses, which actually suggest like the Chariot card. So victory and movement forward, right? That would make sense with confidence. Number 21, beautifully starting your reading, which is the World card, right? This whole reading is about chapters closing and new chapters beginning. And coupled with the Muse of Emotions, your card, King of Cups, this past energy has found you really understanding who you are at the core. I feel as though it's not that everything is going your way. I wish that for you, but the reality is it's not that everything is going your way. However, I feel that Scorpio is a lot more vocal about their displeasure with when something isn't going their way. I feel as though you've learned how to summon the confidence and kind of charge up that fire energy within you to be able to then express yourself. The Muse of Emotions, the King of Cups, is somebody who has a very mature attitude about their feelings, that they can access their emotions. They may not express them all the time, but they know what they feel. Some people cannot inhabit this energy. They coast through life and they act in ways that betray their feelings because they're unable to express them. But I feel as though you're able to express your feelings. It's kind of backwards for you. I feel that you're able to express your feelings, but now it's a matter of acting, having the confidence to act on those feelings. This character here is very curious. One, because he's not facing the viewer, but it's almost like instead of being carried by the horses, he's like pushing the horses, which is peculiar. Like if you were a charioteer, you are sitting in the chariot and the horses are dragging you along, right? But this character is like pushing the horses. It's almost like I see this, I see you like winding up a toy or winding up a car, winding up an engine. You're the motion trying to get something to start. But first you had to realize what it is that you were starting. You had to be very clear in what it is that you were feeling and thinking in order to make this movement happen. This is in your past energy. I'm going to ask Spirit what this had to do with. Thank you, Spirit. Oh, look at that. Nine of Inspiration, the Nine of Wands. She's very regal in this depiction. It's a 9, but it always feels like a queen to me. That there's so much dynamic movement. But look at her posturing. Her chest is very open, like very open energy. But almost, it's slightly puffed up. The chest is slightly forward, making me think that like, you're the one leading the charge. Nine of Inspiration is usually known as the wounded warrior card, living to fight another day. In essence, it talks about determination and tenacity, the will to move. So whatever this is, I asked Spirit what this was all about. I think it was simply about Scorpios just not putting up with BS anymore. And you finally admitted that to yourself. You finally said, enough is enough. Enough is enough. It's a huge accomplishment, so congratulations, especially if you're not used to being in that energy. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that because I feel like I don't need to belabor the point, and I feel that you already know what that means. In the present energy, I don't know why it was so hard for me to think of the word present. Almost like the card I'm about to show you is in flux for you. Like it spans, like the card itself is timeless, that it's jumping. I don't know why. Number 32, which reduces to a 5, that would make sense. Fives are all about transition. The Hierophant card in the Major Arcana. It's a constellation. The Crux constellation, Southern Cross. And the word is signal. See this up in the sky? You could relate to the cross as a symbol. You could, I don't think that they are, I'm pretty sure that they're not, but these trees reminded me of Joshua trees. I don't think that they are. But they reminded me of Joshua trees, so there could be something about Joshua trees, Joshua Tree Park. I believe that's in Utah. It also is the name of my favorite band, U2, that one of their albums. It's called The Joshua Tree. Take it as it resonates. You could identify with Christianity or the cross or anything of that nature. But I feel as though there's something about signal, right? That's a very strange word to, it's not like describing an emotion like confidence. Signal, it's like, I almost feel as though, okay, so the Spirit's giving me a really nerdy reference, but we're gonna go with it because I love it. There used to be a show on television called Star Trek: The Next Generation, okay? My favorite of all the Star Treks. I'm a Trekkie. And I don't know about the modern day ones because I don't watch TV anymore, but when I was younger, I loved Star Trek: The Next Generation. And that show is such a beautiful parable for life. It is, there's so much happening in that show. You should definitely watch it. But in the series finale, one of the most beautiful series finales, there is a phenomenon that happens. It's like a 2-hour-long series finale. There's a phenomenon that happens in the plot line of that show where they travel throughout time. And in each time period, there is something in the sky. And that something in the sky changes in different time periods. It's in the same spot in the sky. People can observe it. But throughout time, the manner in which that appears looks different to the viewer. Right? Now we're getting kind of into quantum physics, quantum mechanics, the idea of observation. The idea of observation causes that thing to shift and change and morph throughout time. So it's this idea that Spirit is giving to me, very, very conceptual, very esoteric, that there's something in your life that has been rather constant in its display in your life, in its presence, rather, its presence in your life. But that when you think about that same thing throughout periods of your life, the thing began to change. Maybe it was the same thing all along, but your perception of it caused it to change. So we could be talking about an object, like a special gift that somebody gave you, or I don't know why I'm seeing a security blanket. I don't know why I'm seeing a security blanket. Something that it feels like a security blanket that was once something that you wrapped yourself in, that it meant so much to you, that it had sentimental value, that it caused you to have comfort, that perhaps now in the present tense is a burden or represents something of childhood you don't want to think about. Or it doesn't have to be negative. Maybe it's just something, a chapter closing and a new chapter opening, where you are looking at the security blanket and saying, thank you so much for all of the comfort that you gave me throughout the years, but I'm going to let you go now. I don't know. Could be a person from your childhood that you look at them now and you're just like, you're not the same person. You're the same person, but you're not the same person. So something like that. It's a signal. It's something that you're just looking at differently now, and it's like a beacon to you. You're having this revelation about it. I don't even know. It was like, I hope I did that. It made sense in my head. I hope that I communicated that somewhat clearly. Basically, in that episode of Star Trek, they were looking at a phenomenon in the sky that is kind of ripping a hole through time and space. And it's small in the future and gigantic in the past as they move back into the past, deeper, 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 to the inception of humanity. That thing in the past threatens to cause humanity not to exist at all. It's hard to describe, but this idea that our actions affect everything, our decision making affects everything, right? It's the difference of you being carried away by something or you pushing something to happen. Here comes the Three of Inspirations to clarify this. The Three of Inspirations is typically a card of waiting for the perfect moment when there never is a perfect moment. And are you just going to stand on the sidelines? Like I just heard, put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. That song. Who sings that song? I wanted to say Don McLean, but I don't think that's correct. John Fogerty? I'm sorry, I don't remember. The song, put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. You know, put me in, coach. Like, I'm ready to move. I'm ready to act. But you're putting me on the bench. But it's not your coach that's doing it. It's you. The ego, perhaps, inside your own brain saying, is it ready? Am I ready to jump in? I feel a little bit of defiance, though, when I look at this card, because here are all the dominoes lined up so beautifully, and it's almost as if you're just kicking one in the middle and saying, no, something needs to fall. Dominoes need to move. We need to act. It doesn't matter that I'm not at the beginning. Okay, maybe I'm starting in the middle, right? I just watched a video today of, like just this morning, of this woman. She kind of posts a lot of things about a woman, being a woman in your 40s, and all the things that women go through when they hit their midlife. And she said, you have every right to start over in your 40s or at whatever age. And it's not just talking to divine feminines, it's talking to divine masculines as well, or it doesn't have to do with gender in my example. But she was really making that very clear, that you don't have to just stay stuck in the same relationship or career or what have you if you choose not to. So this is the energy that I see right now. You know, I learned to read tarot in my 40s, and now I've started this whole exploration with social media and getting the message out there, all of that in my 40s, right? So I identify with that, and I just kicking that thing over, that you are the source of that inertia. And in a way, a portal opens when you do that, almost instantaneously. The minute you make the decision to act, it's like the cosmic portal opens for you. That's beautiful energy. In the future potential, Alpha Centauri, a bright star, 42, reducing to a 6, the Lover's card, in the major arcana of the tarot. Courage. This is, I love Stacey DeMarco's decks. If you're not familiar with her decks, she's just, it's surrealism with photorealism. It's spacey and earthy and fiery and beautiful, powerful, all at the same time, her decks. It's pretty self-explanatory, right? Courage, that it's almost like when you learn how to kick one domino over in the course of your life, then it just becomes easy to kick a lot of them over and cause that ripple effect to happen. And then the courage to walk the path. You know, it's almost like kicking the door open, and it's just like, okay, and then you have to walk through. You have to walk through. And the Lover's card reference here, the Lover's card can talk about divine union, but it also talks about a choice point. So the reference to the Lover's card here is perfect because we're at this choice point. And you can see that choice point really clearly, and it has to do with your heart space. But Tower in reverse, major arcana, your first and only major arcana through the tarot deck, representing Scorpio and Aries energy. But you did get this card in the reverse. This is the card in the upright. The Tower card represents great shock, awe, and surprise. That there could be something that is not quite stable and it has to come down. Like a false start is actually what I wanted to say. Actually, but you got this card in the reverse. So it's kind of like saying, if I put these two cards together conceptually, it's kind of like saying in the present moment, in order to avoid a tower moment where things could collapse, you're the one causing the collapsing. You're the one kicking the dominoes over first. Because the tricky thing about the Tower card is that when we allow things to just fester and ruminate for too long, and they're not really built on anything solid, and you keep allowing it to just be shaky, then Spirit comes in with their great bolts of lightning and say, you know what, Scorpio's been stuck in this situation a little too long, and now I'm gonna kick the dominoes over for them because they're not brave enough to kick them over for themselves. But you are brave enough. You're showing it to me. You're avoiding complete disaster. And I don't mean disaster, an actual disaster. I just mean like, you're just being proactive. Just see this as a proactive energy on your part, which could be difficult for you. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to change. And nobody likes, I mean, there's some people that like change, but most people don't. Most people, when they change, they want to be in control of it. So I see you feeling, I mean, courage and confidence is bookending your reading here. It's quite beautiful. And advice from Spirit, the Justice energy, Virgo, the constellation of Virgo. But here's the number 6, which is the Lover's card again. Karmic balance, directionality. We're finally moving in the right direction, in the direction that makes sense, in the direction that is for our highest good. I just saw a guy outside. It's very windy out today, and he's got 2 shopping bags in his hand. He's got his crossbody, his hat, and his gloves, and his scarf on, and he's walking against the wind, but he's walking with a literal determination. You know, it's cold outside, He's got groceries. He wants to get home. But his whole posturing is like movement forward. And Spirit showed that to me for a reason, right? That this is you. That you know that you have paid your dues. And now justice is coming in for you. You know how I know this? Because it is double confirmed with the Six of Materials, Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles represents the Justice card in the Minor Arcana of the Tarot. Completely different decks, completely different vibe in terms of coloring, but you got a 6 and a 6. Justice and the Six of Materials, Six of Pentacles. Equal give and take, balance, reciprocity. Spirit is saying, finally, Scorpio, you figured it out for yourself. Like you got a 4-4 and a 6. Well, as far as I'm concerned, 6-6-6. And when we are talking about tarot, 6s are beautiful. In tarot, 6s talk about victory. These are the cards. And if you're saying, well, this doesn't sound like me, like I'm not having this moment, I would look at where you need to kick some dominoes over. If this is telling me anything, it's telling me that it starts with you. It starts with you making a move, not waiting for something to happen. It's like you need to happen to life. I'm going to pull one more card. What is this new chapter about for Scorpio? A change of perspective. It's funny because, so this is the Five of Emotions, or the Five of Cups. Fives are all about transition, right? This card, so the question I asked was, what is this new chapter? What are we moving away from and towards? Five of Cups is a change of perspective. And it's funny that I mentioned that if you don't resonate with the, like we were going on such a high, right? But then in that last moment, I had to talk to a doubter. Somebody watching. I had to speak right to that doubter. It was like, I don't feel courageous. I don't feel confident. I don't feel determined. I don't feel like things are going my way with equal give and take. There's a doubter, right? So this talks about, are you going to look at spilled cups, or are you going to look at full cups? Glass half empty, glass half full. It starts with your perspective on things. If we want to find a lack of abundance in our lives, it will be very easy. It's easy to find something to complain about. I can think of 100 things I can complain about, and I've only been awake a couple hours. If I wanted to find it, I could find it. Instead, right before I did your reading, I do this thing where I hold on to, I have a money tree that is right over here. And what I started doing was I started holding the base of it. So my hands are cupped around the tree. And the first thing I do is give gratitude for the health of the tree. And I pray for the health of the tree. And I pray for the health of all the plants in my room. And I give thanks for the oxygen that they give to me. Right? That's the first thing I do. Then I start to ask for what I want. For abundance, for blessings, for good health. It's just a mentality. I haven't always done that. That was like a thing I started like 2 weeks ago. Because if I wanted to find lack mentality in myself, I can find it. If I want to find abundance mentality, I can find it. This is what's happening here. But for the majority of you Scorpios, you're definitely figuring it out. I really want you to contemplate what this thing is that has followed you throughout time, that looked different in the past than it does to you now. Kind of meditate on what that is. I feel like that's really important. So that's your reading, Scorpio. I hope it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Scorpio.